welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. Ficus Microcarpa, commonly misnamed a Ginseng Ficus, but I even named the YouTube video here Ginseng Ficus because that's what everybody else calls them. They really are Ficus Microcarpa that's generally grafted to another one, seed grown, so that the roots kind of get big and bulbous, and then they take and cut off that top, and then they graft on a smaller leaf variety. I've got pretty much the tail of two different ones today. Give you guys a look at this one all the way around. This one I think I've done a pretty good job on. Starting to get a little leaf reduction. I have been pruning it regularly, getting some wire on it regularly. 5 years ago is when it started. It actually was exactly 5 years ago. I bought it. That's this picture right here. And then I'll go ahead and just add in some other pictures along the way. Stuck it over this rock. It's been in this pot here for, I think about maybe 2.5, 3 years, something like that. I'm pretty sure that when I took it out of whatever container it was in before this one, I'm pretty sure I repotted that on video. I'm not 100% sure that this may have been in this pot before I started the channel. I do have a playlist, so it'll be, this will be attached to the playlist, and you can go through and see the progression of the tree and everything. But I'm going to go ahead and just give it a light prune. It's got wire on it. I did not wire the apex when I wired it up. The apex was a little weak, and since then I have actually kind of pruned back the apex just a little bit, not much. But since there wasn't wire on it, I have been able to kind of do that. Wire has been on since July. Looks pretty tight in some spots. I'm sure it's about time to come off. You can probably see that all these older leaves are like a darker green, but it's got a bunch of these lime green leaves coming in, getting plenty of new growth. I mean, here it is. I think it's February 1st or 2nd here in Florida. It's been chilly. We've had a couple chilly nights here, but our days are getting longer. And when I say chilly, it's been getting down to like 49, 50 degrees. It's still been getting up close to 70 during the day. So, it's waking up, and I'd like to get that wire off before it bites in too much. Not going to prune it all the way back or anything. I'm just going to, like I said, lightly kind of prune it, some of the growing tips, and then once I get kind of a little more in there, I'll be able to see, you can even see if you look closely, but there's some straight up and straight down goes, so some of it will come right off, and then I'll take the wire off, and then I will bring in my other tree, which has not been thriving so well. I mean, it's growing okay, but it just really does not look as good as this one. I think this one would be a ginseng success story, and the other one, no other way to put it other than it's just kind of butt ugly. Alright, after pruning most of that outer growth off, I took a little break just to kind of see what I had, and then I realized I could see the wire, and taking that off isn't anything too exciting, so I just went ahead and got that off while I had the camera off. And from a distance, this looks pretty good the way it is right now, but now that I've got the wire off and just kind of taking a little closer look, I can see, just some of these branches that are not really branches, just twigs going straight down. Some of them kind of crossing on top of each other, and some of them growing straight up. So while I have it in here, try to take care of some of that. And I think that'll about do it for the day. If I was going to be getting some wire on it, I'd defoliate it, no problem. It had plenty of health in the tree, and this is the right time of year here where I'd be able to defoliate it and it would recover no problem. But I have found when I do a prune like this and leave some growth like that left, it will recover much quicker. Plan here is I'm just going to let it take advantage of the early spring growing season. I'm still kind of busy at work. By spring break, I hope to be kind of done with my AP calculus curriculum, and then I can kind of spend a little more time with my trees. But maybe early summer, midsummer, go ahead and give it a good hard cut back and defoliating and get some more wire on it. All right, and then you can just see the difference with this one here, how much bigger the leaves are, and of course how much more neglected it's been. Take a look from all sides. Actually, first thing I'm going to do is just kind of point out here that this is how easy a port cutting will take off. This is a Portocaria afra. Just stuck in the pot there. By nature, not by me. Huh. If it was a little bit bigger, I think I could make something interesting of that, but I'm getting already kind of a little frustrated with how I don't really have any really good sized ports. They're all just good medium sized. Well, let's see here. But anyhow, I did pick up this guy almost the same time I did the other one. Again, just start off with those 5-year-old pictures. The other one started working right away, get it on a rock. This one I tried to plant on the semi-ground. It was kind of a little tray with an escape root. I do believe I repotted it into this pot in a video. I know I did because I remember that one. And you see this pot is very shallow. And what I was going to do is just kind of go with my, check my theory about how if you neglect them, get them nice and root bound in a pot, a nice shallow pot like this, they'll start shooting out the aerial roots and of course ton of growth, ton of greenery and all that. I did want to take a chance to come in every now and again and cut it back, get some leaf reduction and everything. But then I'd start doing that and I'd say, well, I got to cut the rule breakers out too. And then next thing you know, that was this branch, this branch, this branch, and then all of a sudden the whole tree's down to nothing because these things just kind of crisscross everywhere on this thing. And then I don't think I've included this in the video in a long time because this did get, when I pulled that port out, I don't know if you guys can see, it just comes right up out of the pot really easily now. That's not that big of a deal. That's not a concern, it being root bound or anything. But after the hurricane, which now is like a year and 3-4 months ago, I found it and the pot somewhere else, and so I had it potted in there much better, and I just kind of shoved it back in there. And I almost kind of even considered just throwing it away. It was amazing how, looking back on that now, how disheartening that all was to find everything scattered all over the yard like that. But it really looked like crap as far as growing too, so I figured rather than repotting it, I just let it grow and pretty much haven't touched it for a long time. I am gonna cut it back. I guess around there, maybe just get rid of some of the super long stuff. I'm going to go ahead and start with that, and then I'm just going to decide what I do when I get in a little closer. I may decide to repot it today. I haven't pulled it completely up and seen the roots like that in a while, and really, I think ficus can be much more pot bound than that. But I was actually even considering, instead of trying to force the aerial roots and all that, I was considering getting it in a plastic pot and maybe letting it really, really grow. But again, I don't know how tall I want this or anything, so go ahead and cut it way back first, and then even as I'm cutting it way back here, when I see some obvious growth that I know isn't going to stay, I'll take that out. But after I cut it way back, I'm going to take a closer look, decide if I want to do major chops, completely defoliate. I definitely don't want to have to worry about any wire on this one, at least not yet. not really trying to completely defoliate everything, but I am going to take off some of the bigger, older looking leaves, and I also would like to make sure that I hit every growing tip. So it's going to become probably fairly close to completely defoliated. But I am of the belief that if you leave some leaves behind after pruning all the pruning tips, it'll get a lot more back budding where there's life than it will where there's not. And if you're not gonna wire the tree, there really is no absolute need to defoliate everything. Well, like this is a branch that I think, I even kind of remember cutting some of these trying to get taper, and it does have a little bit. You can tell it's an older branch, but then it gets this little sprout off the side here and just robs all the energy away from going to the branch that I really wanted. So I'll be taking off some of those too. A lot of branches like that in here. And then of course could be by the time I do all that, there might not be much tree left at all. Kind of feel like if I'm just going to prune it like that, these need to come down to size a little more. Actually, one of those, that one will need to go. That brings that down a little more. This one just, you can see that was a chop at one point, and I've been trying to get it to grow. It just seems to only want to go down. I don't know why this one won't go up. Usually the ficus kind of goes towards the sun, and then when I want it to, it won't. And usually we're busy wiring them down so they stop going up so much. And in all honesty, I think I was able to leave a lot of that growth. I really have no intention of getting any super detailed wiring going on in here or anything. I'd really just like it to kind of just grow a big canopy, have a good sized trunk, have some gnarly aerial roots there and everything, and just kind of grow a tree like that. So again, no sense in going back and making sure everything's all nice and order or anything. I'll never get anything like that out of this tree.